Okay, the next poet is named KB. This is his name. He's a poet who lives in New York City. He was writing coordinator of Chez Leroux in 1997 to 2001. His first book, Drift, 10 Pal Books, was published in 2000. His second book, Dear Friend, Strawberry Books, was published in November 2012. His poems have appeared in Tamarin, The Unbearables collection, Pagan Plays, Shay Shay, Gathering of the Tribes, and others. And he's performed at the St. Mark's Poetry Project, Dixon Plays, Pink Pony before it became the Son of Pony, which was here for many years, Rising Cafe, Cornelia Street Cafe, Writers, Poets and Writers. Now, I heard him at the Satin series with Reading with Ron Price, and I just thought it was fantastic. And I've been trying to get him to join us, and finally, KB is here, and I'm very honored that he's going to join us. Let's hear it for KB, the poet.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm going to have to get used to the mic here. Thank you, Bernie, for inviting me. Diane, thank you. Thank you, Cornelia Street. Thank you for all for coming. This poem is called Dear Friend, and it's cut up from my nail in 1999. Dear Friend. Little Italy mailbox, would you consider extending the joy? Dear friend, dear friend, dear K. Nemcosky, would you take one moment? You may wonder why I'm sending you a map of the United States. Maya in Vietnam, Sarah in West Virginia. Handle this letter carefully. Sincerely, dear friend, dear Kenneth B. Nemcosky, dear quilt supporter, never have written a begging letter in all my life. Dear artist, dear theater goer, dear friend of jazz, dear classic musical lover, you will have the satisfaction. Dear Mr. Nemcosky, dear ACLU member, dear NYCLU member, it's time you recognize your excellent financial standing. Lida, slow with starvation, from Pine Ridge, West Virginia to Phnom Penh. Sincerely, dear friends, dear long-distance telephone customer, dear Nader supporter, can we share the cost? Can I count on you? Dear LDF supporter, dear WBAI member, dear Amnesty International supporter, P.S. I forgot to tell you about TVs we're giving away to 50 lucky people. What will it take? Please don't be a sideline, dear friend. It could be an event of sudden and inexplicable violence. Dear Washington watcher, dear friend of peace, dear friend of the nation, dear friend of the Dakota Yate. Yes, my name will be broadcast live from Popov to the Fisher King. Dear poetry reader, dear utility customer, check here if you are outraged. Yes, I am outraged. Dear gentle reader, dear colleague, dear neighbor, dear member-elect. Sadly, no one ever knows when the next crisis will be. Sincerely, Patricia Lazio, Rick Lazio's mother. Dear friend, dear Y2K sympathizer, dear Hillary supporter, dear Bush supporter. Sincerely, Jimmy Carter, Elizabeth Taylor, dear friend, dear friend, dear KB. This next poem is entitled The Disappeared, and that was the name of a show that ran at the Barrio Museum a few years ago. I don't know if you remember that, about terrorism in South America and the kidnapping. Oscar Munoz, dabs, cool water for paint, stone slab for canvas. the speed of brushstrokes, chin, mouth, crooked nose, brow, eye, a face emerges. Personality in a glint. The slightest smirk looks right back at you. He who went to work, typical morning greetings, never returned home. His red bike curbside, at spot of kidnapping, left there. But painting on stone, dabbing clear water as paint under scorching sun, dooms the portrait. What was painted first, the eyes, brow, begin to dry and fade. Look for the missing in the cities, plantations, yucca, pineapples, cocoa, plantains. If you're missing, you're not dead or alive. On Earth in Colombia, missing for decades, silent mass grave sites near Lake Hormega, frantic skeletons with no place to go. It's nonetheless paint. Brush a new jawline and chin, earring and hairline. The eyes, the brow dissolve. You can't grasp the face, never whole. This next poem's in two parts, two barbershops, different eras. It's called Male Pattern, as in baldness. Male Pattern. Flat top barbershop, Norfolk, Virginia, 1965. I am a 9-year-old man, a new member of the herd. Lord, let me be like them, sitting on their thrones. I want a bib too. I promise not to drink the blueberry liquid. I promise to be faithful to aqua velvet and to all brands of my gender. I promise I'll laugh at the right time in the group therapy of laughter. Jaw raised, jaw facing away, jaw down, facing forward, chin raised, chin rise, the way the barbers move your face around. Barbers take an inordinate amount of time combing the air above each bald spot. Talking war. What war? They ask. In Vietnam. Where is that? They ask. In Southeast Asia. Here's part 2. Buzz cut, Astor Place, 2003. Each head a globe. I never did like looking into a mirror. I go into a trance, framing my looking at myself, looking back at me twice. Lured, not lurid, I say. No one believes our troops are being lured smack into the center of Iraq. Metro asked me if I'm a military expert. Jaw raised, jaw facing forward, jaw down, facing forward, chin raised, chin down, chin forward, up, down, left, right. This is why we wore. Barbers comb the air above each bald spot. This is very related to the past poem. It's called Thirst Dreams. With long arms, I toss a glowing planet to the ceiling. Watch its falling grace. Serene air ballet. I catch it in my open palm. up in the air, in an arc it goes. I'm Charlie Chaplin, the dictator, dancing with balloon, white and blue. I catch it with my foot, I tap it twice with my butt, I spin it like God, in a fit of it being all mine, I kiss the globe hard and drink all I can. I wake up confused. Mosey heavyweight and nude to orangeade or limeade. I unlock ice trays, bent in a burst of fridge light. The pineapple's gone. In a 2-quart pitcher, iced Nestea, a tall spoon clanking melody. Goes the Adam's apple, bobbing a clenched throat. Damn! The tea glass shatters when it hits the parquet floor. Scares the silence. Tender feet, no shoes. A minefield of broken glass. I can't step up or back. Where to place the toes? Blood to be had. No exit. I have 2 more points. This is mixed metaphor hoax. The moon, our favorite shiny microchip, without informing anyone, wrenches itself free and motors an arc across the back. Panic in section, longing and languishing from lunar poles, continents thirst, oceans starve. Tides devour, spew the rivalry and resounding surf, and a coastline tug-of-war that no one will win. Seagulls hover and condescend the morning ebb, squawk their wants for alms. I rate their scowls, their hungered wings, for what one wants, the other has. Greater kingdoms of birds will fly into this furious picture, to feed on the fittest flesh. Floods, finally, fulfill our beloved cities, where no one built those skyscrapers. It's a world upside down in our resolution to this problem. Once made, may not turn itself right side up again. This is a page from a book-length manuscript called Early Exits. It's about the massive city grid, New York City grid. There's a block that smells like eucalyptus. A block where writers in exile must leave the smoking premises. A block where folks walk through one another to get to the other side. There's a block where local ball buster points at me as I pass. Great, what the world needs now is another Tony Curtis. There's a block where orthopedist wonders if there's a falling down plague in the city. A block where subway tunnel workers climb upstairs to pierce the light like my coal miner forefathers. There's a block where a boss informs me via email that I've been laid off after 20 years. A block where folks who are all work and no play get laid off with the rest of them. There's a block where pints of dry stout disagree with pale ales. There's a block where a mother paints her son's toes pink, creates social media sensation, Tomageddon. Swear to God. There's a block where a simple yes or no answer is delayed 20 seconds by an ice cream headache. A block where tour guide points to very places Walt Whitman once walked. There's a block where a 94-foot blue whale breaches over photographers, craning their necks. A block where a grandmother of performance art, Alina Abramovich, stares right back at you, and you're like, what? There's a block where 5:30 a.m. floorboards creak. I can feel each one depress. I take 3 steps. Neighbor above me takes 3 steps. I stop. She stops. I take 2 steps to the left. She takes 2 steps to the left. Thank you. Thank you so much.